Ahead and get started. I'm Madeline Gepp. I am a trainer here at Web Fortis, and welcome to our Dynamic CRM 2011 Open Training. So this is how it's going to work. To limit background noise, everyone will be on mute. If you have a CRM question or a topic, go ahead and type it into the chat box or ask to be unmuted by typing into the GoToMeeting chat box. We're going to start with a brief introduction of Web Fortis, and then we're going to go on to the training, and the training will last for about 30 minutes. If you have any additional CRM questions or help, please feel free to email me. That's my email address, mgepp@webfortis.com. Please stay on topic. If you've got bugs or problems that are specific to your CRM, let's take it offline. Otherwise, if it's a general topic, a general CRM topic, please bring it up. And then next week, use the same link and phone number to join our training next Wednesday at 10 a.m. So about Web Fortis, we are Dynamic CRM Gold Partner, which is the highest competency that Microsoft gives to their partners. All we do is Dynamic CRM, and we are your one-stop shop. We can do everything as far as migration, customizations, implementation, anything that you need that has to do with Dynamic CRM, we can take care of it. We are all up and down the West Coast. We have offices in Seattle, Santa Rosa, Sacramento, Walnut Creek, and Los Angeles. And the 3 books you see here are the ones that are written by our CEO, Mark Wallenick, and you can find them on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. So this is my contact information. I'll bring this back up, but we're going to go ahead and go right into the training. So I had a question sent to me earlier regarding goals. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into that. So to get into goals, we're going to go into sales. And then the first thing we're going to do is go to goal metrics. And goal metrics will be the number of cases, the number of product units, revenue. You're going to set up what the goal is going to be counting. You can also create your own by going to new, but instead I'm going to go ahead and open up revenue. And it's first going to have a name and then the metric type, the count or amount. So amount's going to be a dollar amount, count is going to be 1, 2, 3, etc. The amount data type is going to be money in this case. We also can have roll-up fields. This is where it's going to count how many it is, so in progress money versus actual money. So the first thing you need to do is set up your goal metric. Again, out of the box, if all you need is number of cases, number of product units, or revenue, this is already done for you. I'm going to go ahead and hit save and close. The next place we're going to go is into goals. I'm going to go ahead and create a new goal. I'm going to give this a name. I'll call this my goal. And I'm going to give the goal owner is going to be the person who the goal is for, or team. Since I'm the only user in here, I'm just going to go ahead and use myself. We could also give a manager. So you'll have the goal owner and the manager if they're 2 different people. The goal metric is going to be what we were talking about before. We were talking about revenue. So I'm going to go ahead and type revenue in. So then we can select the period. So if we want to use a custom period or we want to use a fiscal period that's already in our CRM, it's going to automatically give you the dates here. And we're going to say, let's see, what quarter are we in? Q4. So the target is going to be what the goal is. So we could say maybe the goal is going to be $20,000. We can also add child goals. So if every week I have a goal of, or maybe every month I have a goal of 7,000, 8,000, I can add those child goals here. So if I scroll down even further, we have the actuals, and you'll see that these are dried up, and the reason for that is that's going to autofill. So at this point, I'm happy with it, and I didn't put a fiscal year. 2012. Go ahead and hit save. And so now I'm going to scroll down again, and you'll see that the actual and the in progress is still not filled out. And the reason for that is it does not autofill unless you hit recalculate. Once you hit recalculate, it'll autofill those numbers. And let you know where you are. Let's try and hit recalculate again. Sometimes it does take a second. Well, I have this other one, so let's go ahead and just use this in the time being. So again, we have the name, revenue, the goal owner, the manager, etc. The fiscal period, which is Q3. That's probably why the other one's not working. And the actual money and in progress is filled out. We also have the last roll-up date, and that was the last time that I hit recalculate on it. So even further, we can now put our goals into our dashboard. So I'm going to go ahead and go into Workplace, My Work, and Dashboards. And I'm going to select, let's go into this one. So this is the dashboard that I already had created for goals. I'm going to go ahead and edit this by clicking Edit. And the way I got to this dashboard is I inserted a chart. The record type I selected as goals. And then I have the views. So for views, if I want all goals that are in the system, I'd go ahead and select the all goals. That's going to be the one that I had created before this, and this is going to be the one that I had just created. I could also just say my active goals. Again, we'll have both of them, but those are going to be specific to me. And then we have different charts here. Since these are goals that are specific to money, they're going to show up here. So we have the goal, what the goal is, what the target is, and where we are today. And that's going to be the red triangle. We also have others, which today's target versus actuals, and also percentage achieved. So say percentage achieved. We'll go ahead and hit save and close. So one thing I did miss is I haven't talked about where these numbers come from. And they're going to come from our opportunities. So I'm going to go into opportunities at this point. And you can see I have 3 open opportunities. Those are going to add up to what the potential is. If I go to my 1 opportunities, this is going to be the actual. So if I go back to, let me go back to goals. And we have the actual, that's going to be all the closed ones, and the in progress, those are going to be my open ones. So let me go back to opportunities. I'm going to go ahead and select new. I'm going to give this a topic. I'll call this, let's call this checking out goals. Potential customer, I'm just going to select a random one, which I don't have. We'll give it sample. So the system calculated and the user provided, if you have products in your system, you'd be able to add a price list, add products. I'm not going to go through all that, so I'm just going to go ahead and do a user provided, and that allows me to autofill it. I'm going to say that I have a potential estimated revenue of $6,000. I'm also going to go ahead and just give this a close date, estimated close date of next week, probability 85, and I can continue to fill this out. I'm going to go ahead and hit save, and that's going to fill out these autofill fields, well, the total amount anyways. And hit recalculate opportunity. So now if I go to my open opportunities, I have checking out goals. That's the one that I created. Now let me go back to goals, and I'll show you the in progress has gone up. Also, if we go into our dashboard, oh, one last thing, we have to recalculate. So let's go back to goals, and I'm going to recalculate. Okay, so it went up to 33. So now let's go back to our dashboard. And you'll see the percentage achieved. Oh, sorry, the goal before it was down below, and now the in progress is a lot higher. So now, actually, let me go back to goals and let's talk about numbers real quick just to point out. Okay, so the actual at this point is 12,500. The in progress is 33,000. Now let's go back to opportunities. I'm going to go ahead and open this. I'm going to click it. I'm going to click close as one. It's going to take that $6,000 and put it into actual revenue. We also have the close date here. I could go ahead and click OK. Now we're going to go back to goals. The actual, since we haven't recalculated yet, the actual is 12,000. The in progress is 33. If I go ahead and hit recalculate, click OK, that's now changed. So the actual is 18 and the in progress is 27. So any questions about goals, creating the dashboards, goal metrics, anything, or any other topic? So I'm going to go back to goal metrics. And out of the box, we also have, and of course you can create your own metrics. So if you have a specific number you want to count against, maybe you want to have a goal of the amount of opportunities that get opened, or the amount of accounts that get opened, etc. You can create your own metric. But one that comes out of the box is number of cases. So I'm going to go ahead and cover that. And whoops, I'm going to go into service. I'm going to go into cases. I'm going to create a new case. I can go ahead and give it a title. So let's call this So I have a question. Is there a way to mass import multiple attachments into the sales literature? There is not. Yeah, you would have to go ahead and do it one by one. Yeah, unfortunately, there's no way to add multiple sales literature at a time. It's a good question, though. Well, we're on sales literature. Maybe I'll go over it a little bit. Sales literature is a really good way of having up-to-date documents in your CRM so that it's all the same. Everyone has the same thing. It's all up to date. You know where it is, etc. I'm going to give this a title. I'm going to call it sample. The subject is going to be, by default, it's not built out at all, but you can go into your settings and build out your subject tree. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Then I'm going to go ahead and hit add sales attachment. I'm going to give this a title. I'll call this sample. I'm going to go ahead and hit browse. I can select something that is that I have. Let's do the Outlook installation guide. We'll go ahead and hit open. You know what, while I'm in here, I'm going to go ahead and try to do a couple. Let's see, what else do I have? Go into my training docs. Yeah, it won't let you do multiple. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit attach. Hit save and close. And then save and close. So now this document lives in CRM. One of the benefits, well, you could first go ahead and hit send as email. That's one way of doing it. But the real way that this is meant to work is if you are in Outlook, you have an email here. Once this is tracked in CRM, I'm going to go ahead and hit set regarding, and I'm going to choose one of my accounts and click OK. Now I have access to the sales literature. When you start adding a bunch of documents to your emails, this will start to fill out, so it would be right here. Since I don't have any, I'm going to go ahead and hit attach sales literature, and now I have access to all the sales literature that's in CRM. I can go ahead and click OK, and it's already an attachment. Like I said, if you select the same ones over again, when you select attach sales literature, it'll start to fill this out, and you'll have access to a lot of your sales literature. So we have another 10 minutes. Are there any other questions? All right, I'm going to go back into cases because I have had quite a few questions about cases, and we were talking about goals. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a title. And my customer, I'm going to use my same sample. So we have the subject tree, which I was talking about. We also have case origins, so we could mark where we're getting these cases from. Are they phone calls? Are they emails? Are they coming in through the web? The case type, is it a question? Is it a problem? Is it a request? Again, these are all customizable, just like everything in CRM. You'd be able to put as much into cases or as little into cases as you would like. So since I have all the auto-filled areas, I'm just going to go ahead and hit save. So at this point, you have access to activities and closed activities just like you would in your accounts, your contacts, etc. You also have your notes. So as the case moves on, you would be able to make notes and change and make notes of anything that is going on. So this is the progress. And the great thing about notes, and these are available also in contact records, opportunity records, most records in CRM, but if you click away, which by doing that I made it disappear, we have the date, we have the timestamp, and we have who wrote that note. So that's a great way to keep track of the progress of your cases. So as time goes on, you have my active cases. We can also have active cases, and you'd be able to work through them one by one and go through them. And once they are resolved, we could go ahead and hit resolve. And we could put a resolution type as problem solved. I'm going to go ahead and say solved. We could put a description if we would like. One thing about cases, they tie into goals. They also tie into contracts, and that's really one of the purposes of contracts within CRM is to keep track of either billable time or the amount of cases that are solved. And so that's why we have this field here. We could say that it took 30 minutes of billable time, and we could go ahead and click OK. And that would in turn count against the contracts. I'm not going to go into that, but just as a side note. So now if we wanted to see all of our resolved cases, we could go into resolved cases and see them. Again, we can create a goal that's specific to cases, and the goal metric would be the number of cases. And so we also have product units. I'm not going to go into that, but again, we have that metric as well. So we have another 5 minutes if there's any other questions. So I had a question the other day about cases. So I'm just going to go over what that was. And for a lot of people, they like to take a list of their data. In this case, the topic was cases. Sometimes it's accounts, sometimes it's contacts, sometimes it's a list of their opportunities, etc., and they want to take it and bring them with them elsewhere. The way to do that is going to be to navigate to the entity that you want to export the list of, and then either go into the advanced find or select the view that you want to see. So perhaps you want to see all of your active cases or all of my active cases, so you want to see all of your open cases so you can make notes, call down, bring it to a meeting, give it to someone who's not in CRM, etc. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go to the view. Alternatively, you can go to the advanced find, create the criteria and the columns you would like, and then you would export it to Excel. If this is something that you're doing all the time, you're going to want to export to a dynamic worksheet, edit the columns, set what columns you want, and then every time you go into Excel, you could go ahead and just import the data from CRM. The other option which is the easier option, is a static worksheet with records from this page. And that's just going to take all the records on the page and throw them into an Excel spreadsheet. From there, you can edit it or make changes and then print it out. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and end it. Let me go ahead and bring up my contact information again. And please join us next week, every Wednesday at 10 a.m. If you have any questions that come up between now and then, feel free to email them to me. Again, my email address is right there, mgep@webfortis.com. And go ahead and email me your questions, and I can cover the topic next week. All right, thank you for joining.